Chapter 65. Taking Life on Behalf of Heaven. Love Flower Valley, Xiaoyu Villa. As ambush on 10 faces gradually came to an end, and the army of skeletons was being strangled with all their might, the place of Xiaoyu Mountain Villa slowly became quieter. Grandmaster Quicksilver let out a long breath. Boom! Steeply, in the direction of the Love Flower Grandmother, a loud bang was emitted. Hey! Grandmaster Liu Nian twisted his head to look. Formation. Chu Chen's eyes glared. Drink. The 2,000 or so golden rudder disciples steeply let out a loud shout. Immediately, more than 2,000 longswords flew out, as if they were a giant flower of swords, pressing down towards Grandmaster Quicksilver. Boom! The longswords were catalyzed with mana in the air, setting up a sword formation to suppress the flowing Ya's master. Asshole! Grandmaster Quicksilver's eyes glared. However, the sword formation had been set up and was suppressed by more than 2,000 golden rudder disciples. 1 or 2, 10 or 100 golden rudder disciples were not even in the eyes of Master Lionian, but, with the combined efforts of more than 2,000 golden rudder disciples, a strong formation was formed, suppressing Master Lionian within it. What for, Chu Chen? Are you really a spy? Grandmaster Liu Nian glared and drank. Drink! The golden rudder disciple let out a loud shout and fiercely pressed a great formation. Master Liu Nian probed his hand and flew out 18 Buddha beads, blocking the great formation suppression. Chu Chen ignored Master Liu Nian and instead stepped out and flew in the direction of the Love Flower Grandmother. What are you looking at? Why don't you make your move? With a glare, Grandmaster Liu Nian called out to the hundreds of Wood Rudder disciples in the surroundings. Oh ho! A crowd of Wood Rudder disciples rushed up in surprise, and the Gold Rudder disciples, who had not set up a formation, immediately met them with their swords. Dang 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 dang! A series of sounds of gold and stone clashing. Crap! Crap! Break it for me! Master Liu Nian's face revealed a grimace. The Buddha bead in his hand violently enlarged. A huge force erupted. The sword formation burst into a drumming, as if it was about to break open at any moment. And right at this moment, a loud shout from Chu Chen came deeply from the distance. Use gold to overcome wood, Zhang Jinqi. Chop. Boom. Chu Chen, Love Flower Grandmother's angry roar rang out. Your Highness, quick, Huang Fu Chaoj is escaping. A loud shout rang out from Chu Chen. Master Liu Nian's face changed drastically, and he steeply let out a roar. Give it to me. Break. Boom. Under the powerful force, the sword formation exploded apart, and the more than 2,000 longswords burst into pieces. The crowd of golden rudder disciples, who had set up the formation, were immediately sent flying by Grandmaster Liu Nian. Grandmaster Quicksilver was furious and abnormal, but, after merely glancing at the golden rudder disciples, he no longer paid any attention to them and rushed off in the direction of Chu Chen in the distance. Outside the Thorn Great Formation, a loud shout came from Chu Chen, abruptly interrupting the people in the outside world's reminiscence of the ambush on 10 faces. King Liu Yang's eyes narrowed as he coldly looked at the Thorn Great Formation in front of him. Huang Fu Chaoj wants to run. HMPH, and living person, break this Thorn Great Formation for me. King Liu Yong slowly sat down, his face cold. Above the flying boat, beside King Liu Yang's throne, stood a group of people in strange costumes. One of them was none other than the half-black, half-white robed figure. After King Liu Yong finished speaking, the half-black, half-white figure slowly walked out. It was none other than the unseen person who had arrived from the Thousand Islands Sea. Your Majesty, this is my second strike. I hope you remember. The Unshengren said indifferently. Hurry up, King Liu Yong responded. The unliving man slowly stepped forward, and not far away, the broken army retreated to the side. The unliving man walked to the bow of the boat, looked at the Thorn's great formation in front of him that was stronger than the city wall, and gently stretched out his right hand, which was dry in skin and bones, with one old age spot after another floating on it. Probing out his withered right hand, the Unshengren took a deep breath. Heaven gives you life, not blessed. When returned, the Unshengren spoke softly. At this moment, the Unshengren is no longer to voices, but a stream of old voices ringing, the voice with a rhythm, a shout, surrounded by instant gusts of ghastly wind, out of thin air, became incomparably eerie would have been the night, at the moment even more eerie. But see the Unshengren probe hand a scratch, at once, the void seems to be torn open. Rolling black gas from the tear mouth wildly gushed out, towards the opposite thorns, bigger a rush straight to. This scratch, as if opening the door to the netherworld, rolling netherworld gas gushed out, instantly arriving at the thorn's grand formation. Ka. As soon as the thorn great formation touched the black chi, it instantly withered. Heaven gives you life, not blessed to receive it. When it is returned, Heaven gives you a life, no blessing. When it is returned, Heaven and earth seem to echo the mantra of the unborn over and over again. In the distance, the thorn great formation was withering rapidly. It dried up and deflated, taking away a person's lifespan. This is directly depriving the thorn great formation of its lifespan. Ao Shun's eyelids fluttered furiously. Taking away the longevity on behalf of the heavens is injurious to the harmony of the heavens, and will be punished by the great heaven. Another strangely dressed person on the side frowned. Clatter, 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 clatter. The previously incomparably strong thorn formation was now rapidly drying up and collapsing. As if it was like dominoes, the city wall formed by the thorn great formation rapidly collapsed down around it. Boom, boom, boom. Collapsing and drying up to the end. Only rolling dust and smoke filled the sky remained. Ah, help, no. Some of the tree people on the lookout platforms of the thorn great formation, who were in the middle of their visit, immediately let out cries of pain. As the thorn great formation collapsed, those tree people were also hit in general, withering up and turning into a pile of rotten wood in the twinkling of an eye, falling into the ground. Boom. The tree people all dried up and died, falling apart in pieces as they landed on the ground. Hiss. The surroundings were filled with the sound of cold air being sucked in. Regardless of whether it was the millions of troops in the outside world or the tree people inside, when they saw this scene, they all revealed heartfelt horror. Grandma, it's over. It's over. The thorn formation is gone. 1,000,000 troops are coming in. 1,000,000 troops are coming in. Grandmother, what should we do? In the valley of the love flower, there were cries of alarm. The unborn suddenly closed his right hand. Huiyu. Countless black chi was instantly sucked back, drilling back into the torn rift in the void. The Unshengren gently stroked it, and all of a sudden, the void returned to its original state, as if everything had not happened, with only the thorn grand formation in front of him, which had been robbed of its longevity, proving everything that had happened earlier. Your Highness, the great formation has been broken. Your second request is complete, the Unshengren said indifferently. After saying that, the Unshengren walked to the side and paid no more attention. King Lu Yong looked at the unliving man, and a trace of complexity flashed in his eyes. Enter the valley, King Lu Yong said in a deep voice. Yes. The sound of loud shouts came from the four directions. A group of flying boats quickly flew towards the valley. Ang, ang. The group of dragons roared, and also quickly headed towards the valley, without the thorn's grand formation. It was like entering flat ground at the moment, a strong army, roaring and attacking. Where Gu Hai, Long Wanqing, Gu Chen, Mu Chenfeng, and a group of tree people were, minus one of them were also showing shocked colors. Impossible. How did the thorn's grand formation break open? That's even stronger than the walls of Silver Moon City. It was laid by Elder Chess Viewer. How could the Thorn Grand Formation be broken? It's over. It's over. King Liu Yang's army is coming in. My Love Flower clan. It's doomed. The crowd of tree demons screamed in terror. Master, I'll play another ambush on 10 faces, Agu Chen said with an anxious face. No, 10 faces ambush can't deal with them. Gu Chen, set up a sound barrier. Gu Hai called out. Oh, Gu Chen answered and waved his probing hand. Buzz. Steeply, a sound barrier was set up at the place of the crowd, preventing the broken army from being able to hear the sound anymore. Gu Hai, what should we do now? Grandmother's side is going to be in danger. Long Wanqing revealed an anxious look. Gu Hai, however, had a solemn expression as he looked at Long Wanqing and said, Hall Master, there's something that I've already established. What? Long Wanqing was slightly stunned. At this time, what was to be determined? That Wang Fu Chouch, what he said earlier, was all a lie to us. He wants to use us to deal with King Liu Yang and make us kill each other, Gu Hai solemnly said. Lied to us. He lied to us. My mother wasn't killed by King Liu Yang. Long Wanqing frowned in surprise. I'm sure. Gu Hai had a firm face. All right, I was wrong about him. But what now? Long Wanqing was worried. Seeing that Long Wanqing believed, Gu Hai secretly let out a long breath. Ang. Steeply, a large swath of giant dragons, Jiao dragons, and bastards surrounded Gu Hai and his party under the leadership of the giant dragon Fangs. Plop, plop. Several giant dragons steeped into the sea. However, when they looked into the eyes, the 1,000 hegemons and Jiao dragons that had previously barged in had all turned into a pile of dead bones. There were also the 5 giant dragons from earlier, a pile of dry bones sinking to the bottom of the sea. Chief, all dead, all turned into dry bones. Several giant dragons flew out of the sea in a roar. The giant dragons brought out a pile of dead bones and placed them on top of the land. Looking at the white bones, the group of dragons were all creeped out. Luckily, they had run fast earlier. That was 1,000 Jiaolongs and Bosha. And it was gone, just gone. The Fangs revealed a look of anger. Their eyes glared at Gu Hai and his group. Mr. Gu, what now? The group of tree people said in shock. The Thorn Grand Formation is gone. The Grand Formation I set up is still there. If we can hide for a while, it's a while. Let's all flee towards that Grand Formation. Ong, still want to escape. You guys killed my subordinates. You still want to escape. Don't even think about escaping. I want you all to die. Fang Tooth's eyes glared and yelled. Behind Fang Tooth, there were nearly 100 giant dragons, 5,000 Jiaolongs and Baji, and at this moment, their aura was overwhelming and ferocious. The group of dragons attacked and immediately surrounded Gu Hai and his party, preventing them from escaping. Gu Hai and the others' faces were gloomy, and just then, Ao Shun's voice came steeply from the distance. The king has ordered that no one is allowed to harm Mr. Gu and the others. Ao Shun's voice came from the distance. Crown Prince, 1,000 of my subordinates have been killed by them. Fang Xiong anxiously looked into the distance. You dare to disobey my words, Fang Tooth. Do you want to die? If Mr. Gu has the slightest harm, I'll break your dragon horn. Ao Shun's voice came again. Fang Tooth's face stiffened, and a great depression flashed in his eyes. Turning his head, Fang Tooth looked towards Gu Hai's group with hatred. The Gu Hai at this moment, however, let out a long breath and revealed a light smile as he looked towards Fang Tooth. Less complacent. If it wasn't for the king and the crown prince wanting to protect you, I would have torn you apart right now. Fang Tooth glared and roared. Gu Hai ignored it. Even though there were a large number of giant dragons surrounding him, Gu Hai was not the least bit afraid. Let's go. Let's go to the Love Flower Grandmother. Gu Hai stepped forward and led the crowd towards the Love Flower Valley.